So it's been about 6 days, I think, since I finished my second round of chemo, and it is almost night and day on how round one went and that last round. If you saw my short, as a lot of people did, and they hit me up because they were just like, "Are you okay?" Because I guess I really was. I know I was really out of it, and that was one thing that was I wouldn't say it wasn't apparent during round one of chemo. It was because it was definitely there. I was out of it and not quite feeling myself, as I've explained, for several days after even being off the pump. But it wasn't as bad, and it hit so hard and fast. Everything hit so hard and fast this time around. And honestly, I expected it to do that because if you think about it, round one, um, I went into chemo with at the peak of health, all things considered. I was healthy. So my body was still able to do what it does, then try and fight that or, just do what it does. This time, I'm coming at it compromised. I only had a week and a couple days for my body to heal from the first round, and it's not going to get up to, like full health at that point. It never will until I'm off for an extended period of time. And so what I didn't expect was how sharp the the jump was with some of the symptoms. Um, so it wasn't until round one, it wasn't really until I got in the car and got home for a little bit that I started feeling a little bit more out of it, having a little bit of the shakes and all that. This time, I was maybe 20 minutes into my last bag of chemo on day one at the place, um, which meant I had about an hour and a half left of being there before they sent me home on my pump. I was watching a movie with my mom. And by the way, Sinners is wild. I don't know, it's not a bad movie. It's entertaining, but it was a little I don't understand the hype, honestly. It was just a little weird. But it was entertaining. Anyway, I was watching that with my mom and was completely fine. I had just had eaten an Uncrustable a little before that. Was chomping on some grapes, some very, very, very good green grapes. And all of a sudden, it was just like, just a wave of just not, just feeling lethargic and just, I don't know how, it almost feels like I'm here, I'm in my body, but somehow feeling like I'm on the outside looking in to everything. It's just, oh my gosh. And that hit so hard out of nowhere. And that basically set the tone for the rest of the day. Because that never went away. I was able to kind of gain my composure and deal with that for a little bit. But after that hit, maybe 10-15 minutes later, I had to go to the bathroom. So my mom wheeled me over there, and it was hard for me to get up at all. That's when I started to get the shakes a little bit too. And I just felt so tired and so weak, like actually like physically weak. Um, and that was just so wild to me. The physical weakness is not something I had the first time around. So that surprised me a lot because I just wasn't expecting that, especially since maybe an hour before I had to go to the bathroom and I was just fine. Like I just popped right up, I was good, and then just suddenly I wasn't. After that, um, I think things pretty much stayed consistent from there. I finished the bag of chemo while I was there, and then I went to, or they hooked me up to my pump, sent us home. The car ride is when things started to get a little bit more, probably the motion, where I was just like that fatigue and that just feeling so beside myself and just out of it, like just trying to like exist was wild in that moment. But it was just getting more and more gradual. And then we were like halfway home, trying to decide what I wanted to eat when we stopped at Taco Bell. But halfway there is when I started to feel like I was confused, genuinely confused. And this was the rest of the night too. I couldn't tell if I was hungry, if I had to burp, or if I was nauseous. This is just that feeling in my chest, it just felt like there was something there between my chest and my throat, and just, it was wild. And then when I did burp, it was a little suspect. Like, it was fine, everything, it was normal, but you could feel like there is something behind that. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes. So that was new, because I'm like, oh, I might actually be nauseous this time. I wasn't sure, but I was going to keep an eye on it. I ate a little bit when I got home, not the whole thing. Me and my mom thought it would be best like not to eat the whole thing, like eat a little bit, because I was really out of it, and save the rest till later. Oh yeah, and that weakness thing, it got worse also. By the time I got home, I really struggled to get up and out of the car and then sit in the wheelchair, because I was using the wheelchair that day. For a good thing. That definitely needs to be a thing going forward also. And being wheeled and trying to get out of the wheelchair, I almost needed help, because at that point it was just like, I really, like, my body was not trying to do anything. It was so weak. But yeah, she wheeled me in there, helped me get set up so I could eat, and then she left, and it was me and my grandma. Did eat everything, like I said, and then I was just like, suddenly that wave of just whoosh, I feel just really off now and semi-dizzy. So I'm like, you know what, I just want to lay down, and it'd be safer. It will be safer, and I will feel safer, more comfortable if I did so in my bed. So I need to go to bed. I need to go to my room. In my mom, like a month ago, when I had the surgeries, it was hard for me to get up from the couch in general. That was a whole thing. Probably talk about that later. Not today, but later, how that was working. But she raised the couch for me. So basically it's almost as high as my bed. So when I slide off the bed, I'm basically standing. There's very little push-up, but even that little push-up was really, really hard and suspect. And that is when I realized, oh, I'm not only shaking, I'm shaking violently, my whole body, uncontrollably. And it was making me dizzy, and I just had, in that feeling in my chest, it was really like more prominent, but it was still like I had just ate, and it's just like, am I hungry? Because I didn't eat a lot. Am I still hungry? Is it just a burp? Or am I about to, like, is something about to happen? Especially since I'm like, okay, now I think not only am I shaking, I'm dizzy. So, I did that. I got to my walker. When I finally got up, and I voiced this obviously to my grandmother that, hey, I'm struggling right now. Like, I'm actually struggling. Watch me. So she was watching me. She was letting me do my thing. She watched me get up, be really out of it, look out of it, be wobbly. And she could see that I'm shaking. I'm shaking, and like the walker is making noises. I'm shaking so hard. It's a standing walker, by the way. And I think I got my composure. I'm like, okay, baby steps. You don't have to rush. You want to get to bed, but you know you got to be smart about it. So I start walking, and I never felt so uncomfortable in my life, like trying to get from point A to point B. Even when I'm at my lowest with my Mayashis, I never felt like that before. Like I'm like I did not trust myself at all to get from the living room to my room. So I'm like, hey, Gran, can you please walk behind me and hold me? Like, just put your hand on my back. Just make sure, 'cause I don't know what's about to happen right now. So obviously she did. You know, like, there was no problem about that. But that was one time, one of the first times I was just like, no, I actually, like, I need help. I am struggling. Like, this is wild. And basically I made it to my bed, and that's where I was. Basically the rest of the night I tried really hard not to drink too much, because I didn't want to have to get up to go to the bathroom. And when I did, I let my grandma know, like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. So she'll watch me walk to the bathroom and then listen out to make sure everything was fine. So I kept that to a minimum. But by the end of the night, when I'm trying, like, to sleep, let's say like 1 o'clock in the morning, by then I knew for sure, like, okay, no, I am nauseous. Like, this is a thing. Because I had drank a protein drink, and I basically felt full, but I still felt that thing in my chest. And I coughed, and that cough wasn't dry. It felt like there was definitely something behind it. So it was mild. The nausea was really mild, but it was new, and I'm like, okay, I'm prepared for this, So, but it was something. I did take one of my nausea pills for the first time, just to be safe, so I can sleep through the night. And then the next day, the shakes were gone. I wasn't feeling completely out of it. I was still out of it, but not to the like I was the day before. And I was able to keep the nausea at bay simply by sucking on those morning sickness candies that my mom found. And day 2 pretty much went by way of just me being up for a second and then randomly passing out. And an hour or two goes by, and I wake up for a little bit and pass out. I ate very little that day. I didn't fight anybody. If someone said, hey, you need to eat, I'm like, okay. I get up and I ate. But it wasn't a lot. I didn't really have the appetite for it anyways. And the dry mouth was still definitely a thing also. So, and that was not helping, also while being nauseous. And yeah, so I basically was just in bed. I did that all day 2. In day 3, when I was going to get my pump off, I was feeling also a little bit more better. I definitely was not out of it anymore. I still felt beside myself, but definitely wasn't out of it. So that was a plus. So I was able to function. I wasn't weak anymore. That weakness kind of went away, we'll say middle of day 2 at least. And then I went to go get another dose, my last little push of chemo that they do just before they take the pump off. And the feeling like beside myself and kind of like dizzy, that definitely returned. And the nausea stayed for the next couple days. And it was just trying to wean myself off of that. Like I said, everything hit so much faster and harder than it did the first round, and it was expected. And my next round is next week, and I honestly expect this next one or the one after that to be the most telling, like, going forward. So I think I'm probably in the next one, because now it's what it's gonna be. I feel like that's what it's gonna be. So if I'm gonna have, I know now, like, okay, I'm gonna be one of those that's nauseous, and um, the shakes, I need to be mindful of that. So when I come back from chemo, probably just go straight to bed and just eat in moderation, be in my room. Don't be afraid not to eat for that day, the rest of the day. Just trying to have like maybe a good breakfast. And it's just things to think about to try and prepare and make it as comfortable and suck as less as as I can going forward. I had a doctor's appointment today, and we were talking, and the guy about not alternatives, but surgeries, things that could happen in the future if he sees it necessary. And one thing that he was really trying to hit home was like, he was like, you're young and your body is really healthy, all things considered, and we don't, and it's great for this fight, but we don't want to break your spirit and stuff. So if you're feeling whatever, and I'm just like, what will break my spirit is if we don't hit it hard. We're going full force, giving it 110%. Like, don't worry about me. Like, I can be sick. I'm not afraid to be sick. I don't want to, but I'll do it, and I will figure it out. That's what I do. That's what my life has become. We figure it out. Yeah, and the only other thing is I did notice, and it was probably a thing last time, but it was not as pronounced as it was this time because my hands actually started itching. Is I have that symptom where I get the dry hands and feet. I expect that to get worse and just be a thing from now on. So I need to make sure that I'm looking for a really good lotion that I could put on, and I guess stay out of the sun, because that's gonna make it worse, and I'm supposed to stay out of the sun anyway, apparently, when you're on chemo. Yeah, so I just wanted to update on how round 2 went, because it had been a while. It took me out. Basically, that's the update. Next one is Monday or Tuesday next week, so we'll probably have another update about that then. Maybe from inside the place this time, who knows? Depends on how I'm feeling. Yeah, I just wanted to put a quick one out here right now, just because it's been a little bit. Yeah, maybe having a couple more videos later this week talking about other things, but until then, thanks for hanging out.